Hi everyone, it's Sara here from Hiking Boots and Posh Pants, and it's 2 o'clock. We said we'd be live, and I'm here with lovely Fiona Davies from Women in Rural Enterprise, otherwise fondly known as WIRE, and we are going to have a bit of a chat about networking. So one of the first things I want to say on a personal note is I am a member of WIRE, and I have been pretty much, we were just talking, weren't we? I think it was January 2009.
Wow.
Was my very first meeting. So anyway, Fiona, welcome. Hello. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, and happy International Women's Day, everybody.
Yes.
It's great to be here and live, so to speak.
Yeah, it's all very new, this kind of live stuff, and I just thought International Women's Day was a great opportunity to kind of, start some new things and start showing everybody what we can be doing. So tell us a little bit about WIRE.
Okay, well, WIRE, Women in Rural Enterprise, we stem from a piece of project work done at Harper Adams University about ago now, which was looking into falling farm incomes and farm diversifications. And it sort of transpired that an awful lot of the diversifications were being run by women, not by the farmers themselves. But they weren't in a position to find any business support. So there wasn't anything there for them. There was the old Farm Advisory Service and there was Business Link, and they just weren't fitting in. And the lecturer at the time, Izzy Warren-Smith, thought, perhaps there's an opportunity here to perhaps offer some business support to the women running businesses that just simply don't fit anywhere else.
Yeah.
We called it networking, and we called it, what do we call it? Supporting women in rural business. And we had no idea that there were many businesses that just simply didn't fit. And I think that's something that continues to run through WIRE, that although the women are running absolutely brilliant businesses, they just are a little bit different from your normal business card spraying type networks, or the ones that require you to stand up and give your recommendations or your referrals for this. So we're just not quite like that. And, over the years, 20 years since, we've seen hundreds of thousands of businesses coming through, growing, changing, moving forward, becoming great businesses. So yeah, it's a great business. It's a great organisation. I love, because I get to read the most amazing women every day, hear their business stories, hear what they're doing, hear about their successes. It's terrible when I meet them, because I always end up spending an absolute fortune, because there's some amazing products out there, some amazing experiences, and some amazing services. So I try not to go out too much, because it costs me a fortune.
Yeah.
But amazing, just an amazing group of women, and all coming under the umbrella of WIRE, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, I think WIRE is quite unique when it comes to networking, and I think a lot of the ladies that are within the organisations are, their businesses come from a place of passion. It's something that they've been very passionate about and want to turn it into an income, and that's what I love. The variety is huge, isn't it, in terms of, if you want to find any unusual businesses, really go to WIRE.
Absolutely, you'll find enormously diverse. So diverse. Everything from bed and breakfast to cafes to food businesses to tourism businesses, from services and other networks within it, like your own, and website designers, accountants, all the rest of it. But you're quite right. There is something that glues them all together, and that is that they feel incredibly passionate about their businesses, and they feel very attached to the sort of businesses that they run, but the honesty and the integrity and the authenticity that is within their business. I mean, an awful lot of the women within the WIRE network have come from years and years and years of paid employment, sort of PAYE employment. And so, what they do when they do their own business is really changing the way they work. Having had years of experience of doing something with sometimes a terrible boss, sometimes a terrible commute, sometimes authentic way of working, if you like. And they turn their back on all that because actually you've got to love what you do. And I think that comes through very much in wire businesses. They love what they do, completely passionate about it. You know, network meetings go on for way longer than is scheduled because people just want to talk about their businesses, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. And I think as well that when you often come from the corporate world, like, you know, we've talked about passion-based business, and there's a lot of sort of craft-based businesses or highly skilled ladies in there as well. But like you were saying, with the, you know, lawyers and accountants and those kind of jobs that are, you know, they really have come from a very sort of strict corporate background, and they want to work for themselves, and they're suddenly finding that they've got to be not just the accountant, but they've got to be everything else. They've got to learn how to market themselves. They've got to learn how to, you know, get in new clients and all sorts of new skills. And I think those are the things that bond the wire ladies, isn't it? It's the,
oh yeah, definitely.
You know, that self-discovery of working for yourself.
When you're leaving paid employment, there's a whole load of things that you take for granted. You know, somebody fills the water cooler, somebody pays the wages, somebody makes sure the car park is open. You know, there's all of those things. Even if you hate your work, there is a team and it supports you. So even if you hate everybody, there is still a supportive team, and there's always somebody to mull ideas over with.
Yeah.
And when you start working for yourself, you just simply don't have any of that stuff about wire networks. And other women in business networks, but obviously I'll say wire, is that you can find people there who can become your team. That team that has now gone because you've left the corporate world, you can recreate it. And I always say to people when I'm running startup workshops and things, from now on, you never have to work with anybody you don't like. You know, find people you like to work with, find people that are invested in your business, care about your success, care about small businesses, and love your product as much as you do. And, you know, that never happens in the corporate world. But when you're creating your own business and you network well, you can find somebody to write your website for you. And you can walk away from them if they're bamboozling you with technology, because you don't have to do that anymore. You can find somebody you like to work with. So it becomes a pleasure. So, you know, that's what I love about networks that work, that it's not just about selling, it's about finding people that you can work with and finding people that you can help to boost your business because they're on your side.
I think one of the things that, you know, and we're in a really amazing time right now. You know, obviously we had the Industrial Revolution and that changed everything. And I think we're in a real technology revolution at the moment, in that the world is on our doorstep through the internet. And there are so many skills that we can have that go over the internet as well. And we can find those people. But there's nothing like, you know, meeting somebody face to face and having that connection. And I think that's the thing that I love about networking. You know, just I obviously have networking starting here as well, and it is different to wire, which is why I wanted the two of us to be on here today, because mine's sort of like an in-person side of the online part of the website. But when you meet people that have got a passion for something that you don't have, and by that I'm going to use a great example, an accountant. You know, I'm a creative person. I love to kind of, you know, get involved and do what I want to be doing with my business. When it comes to paperwork and admin, I just, you know, talk about there's no passion there at all. However, you meet someone who that is their passion. And this is what's lovely about networking, is that you can build that network. You can outsource to, you know, all your jobs that, you know, don't necessarily need you to do, but obviously you need it to run a business. And when you can find them that have the passion for the things that you don't like, what a team, you know. And if you've got that connection, then that's great.
No, definitely. And understanding that there are skills that you don't have and will never have, but there is somebody else who can do that for you, and you can do something for them. that's just an amazing revelation, because in paid work, that stuff just all happens. And so you start creating this stuff and you actually realize that you've got a whole team around you, people you trust, people you like, people who care about your business, you care about them. And that's so good. That's so important. And I don't think, and I love technology as well, Sara, but I don't think you can judge a person in the same way unless you've been to a network meeting with them and met them a couple of times. Because in a sense, you can be anybody online. You can't hide yourself quite as much if you're face to face with somebody. So I think getting away from the desk, going to find people who you like and you can work with is a really, really important part of growing a business. So, you know, maybe when you're starting up, you do need to spend a long time in front of the desk. But as you're growing your business, you really need to bring more people on board.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a really valid point as well about coming out from behind your desk, or, you know, your place of where you're working, because it can be, you know, when you are a small business and it's mainly you, despite having other people on the outskirts of it that you might be outsourcing to, it can be very lonely when, you know, you are starting your own business in particular. And to go and find people that are doing, you know, trying to do the same kind of thing that you are in terms of working for themselves, it's very reassuring, isn't it? That you're not alone. They are out there, and it's fun to interact and support each other as well.
Yeah, and I think in terms of ideas and keeping your ideas fresh and keeping passionate about your business, you know, if you've only got you to talk to and a screen, you soon lose that va-va-voom, don't you? You know, you need.
When you start to rock in your chair a little bit, I think.
But you know, expressions, when you explain to them what they're doing, and they're looking at it, and they're getting involved and they're excited as well, and you know, that gives you a buzz that you can't get when you're by yourself. I mean, I think you have to find a balance, because it would be very easy to network all day, every day, and that's
do any work. Yeah,
exactly. So I think one of the things I would always say about networking is work out what you need from it, and go ahead and do that. So, you know, if it is that you need to get new business, that will be a certain sort of network that you go to. If it is that you need support, that will be a certain sort of network. And I always say to people who haven't been networking before, I mean, your 8 tips or whatever it is cover it absolutely fantastically. But I always say to people, you know, be very sure about what you want. And if you want to moan and talk and have a great time, don't go to a network. Sit at home with your friends and open a bottle of wine, because that's a different thing. So make sure that when you're networking, you're using that time effectively and it is valuable to you, and you understand when you come away, or rather when you go into it, what you want to get out of it, and you understand when you come away what you've got out of it, because otherwise you have a latte or drink some wine and eat some crisps or something like that. You know, it's not an empty social experience. You have to be getting something out of it. So I do think taking a little bit of time before you start networking to think and to understand why it is you're doing it is really important.
Yeah. I have got, you just mentioned there, I have got a guide, if there anybody is listening that is new to networking. I have actually got a guide. It's called How to Authentically Network with Confidence and Success. And the reason I put that together is because it can feel really daunting. If you just started a business and you've never ever been to a networking meeting before, it's true, isn't it, Fiona? It can feel quite daunting, because, you know, often in a networking meeting, part of the format is that you are expected to stand up and basically deliver a 60-second synopsis of who you are and what you do. And, you know, it can seem very scary to start with, but my goodness, I have seen women blossom. You know, they've gone to a network, never done anything like that before, to kind of standing up and being able to present themselves and their business beautifully to a room full of people. And I think that does oodles for your personal confidence if that's something that you haven't done before, and that can lead on to other things. Often networks are looking for speakers, and I've done lots of talks and things at networking, but I hadn't done that with regards to my own business before I started networking. So it really, there's a lot more that you get out of networking than just, like you say, pushing business cards and going with the intention of grabbing any business that you can. It is a real skill.
It absolutely is a skill. And I think that thing about standing up and having to speak about your business, you know what, I've been doing this for 20 years. Sometimes going around the room, my heart is going, and I'm thinking, oh my God, people are going to think I'm an idiot or whatever. And I think that's a natural part of it. And it's good to feel a little bit scared, because what it means is that you care.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking about it. And I think the great thing about taking those opportunities is, yes, it boosts your confidence, because, you see people have been doing it for years and they've got it completely off pat. But it's not going to be perfect the first time.
No.
But you can use people's reactions and you can use feedback to hone it, to make it. So that's that thing about getting away from the computer.
Yeah.
And starting to tell people about your business. It helps you to hone down onto what people actually catch on to. What's the most important thing? What's the memorable thing? And so your elevator pitch or your USP or whatever evolves as you read other people's reactions to it. And so, for people to go along to a network and not go again because they haven't sold anything, it baffles me. I can't understand why people don't get that what it's doing is such a lot more than. Somebody once said to me, very early days, they said, I hate network. It was a chap actually, he said, I hate networking because it's just like I'm walking into a room with a load of tomcats spraying business cards at me. And he said, sometimes I can feel them hitting my face. I just think, what is the point of this? You're not making relationships. And I absolutely agree. But that thing about using the group, using the feedback, using what you feel to hone your business idea, just boost your confidence so much, which eventually will boost your business.
Yeah, definitely. And, if you want to try out new products or services or anything like that, then networking is almost like having your own sort of market research little focus group, isn't it? And you can trial and tweak things from there. So yeah, lots of advantages. So in terms of, let's look at giving top 5 tips for networking. What would, in all your vast experience, Fiona, what would be your top 5 tips?
Well, I would say, I think I've already said one, know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So understand what's in it for you and what's in it for the network, if you like. So what are you bringing to it?
Yeah.
I would, number 2, practice your pitch. Try and make it memorable. Try and keep it to no more than 2 sentences. You want people to be engaged. You don't want them to walk away going, I have no idea what they were talking about. And because as women, and we talked about this earlier about being so passionate about your business, sometimes it's quite hard to turn it down a little bit, but I think you have to. I mean, I do and don't like the idea of an elevator pitch. You can't really put a lid on passion, and you shouldn't put a lid on passion, but you should very definitely make sure that it's clear what you do. So keep trying it, keep practicing it, and hone it down so that it's very clear what you do and it's very clear what people can buy from you, so what you are selling. And I think that's a hard one. I would also add, network generously and never discount anybody. So it may be that you meet somebody who whittles wood. You think, I'm never going to do any business with this person. It just isn't appropriate for me or whatever. But if you network generously, I bet your bottom dollar that 2 weeks down the line, somebody will say, I'm looking for a wood whittler. Is that a word? I'm looking for a wood whittler. and then you connect those two people. I think networking is just as much about connecting other people as it is about connecting yourself to somebody. So I would say be a very, I think I would say, how many have I done now? I think I would say use, somebody told me this years and years ago. They said, and it was in the context of selling, actually, it wasn't in the context of networking, but they said you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You must use them in that proportion always. So networking is so much more about listening, computing that information, following it up, networking on, or picking it up later, than it is about spouting on about yourself. I think that's probably it. There are 2 things. I'm not a dresser-upper. You know, I don't dress up to go to things. And I think that's one of the nice things about when you find a network, you don't have to put on your high heels and your suit and everything. You know, you can feel relaxed in yourself. However, I do think there are a couple of things. You can make yourself a bit more memorable. I favour very much red shoes or a pink bag or something like that. I don't have to anymore because my hair's it's just that, you know, in a sea of women, it's actually quite nice to be, I don't want to be pointed at, but I want people to say, oh, you remember it was the one with the platinum blonde hair or something like that. And I think, you know, it's very easy to do that. You know, a lovely brooch, some fantastic earrings, something that you've bought from a fellow networker or something like that, you know, so memorable. I also think this is such a practical point, but you see it all the time. I think it's really important to wear something that's got pockets in, so you can put your business cards in them. There is nothing more likely to kill a conversation or you know, some really in-depth discussion than you bending over, putting your bum in the air, unzipping your bag, firtling round and pulling out. Just wear something with pockets and just
make it easy.
in your pocket. It just if you on track as much as not distract other people. So yeah, those would be my tips. And enjoy it. And have fun. You know, if it's a chore, it's probably not the right network for you.
Yeah. There's some interesting points in there. One of which I would say, I mean, most of my life I am in hiking boots, hence hiking boots and posh pants.
Yeah.
I stripped myself of the corporate suit many years ago. Well, the day that I started working for myself. But sometimes I quite like getting a bit dressed up to go out and meet, you know, your fellow networkers. And I think it's quite fun. Sometimes my neighbours think I'm a bit insane because I'll go out in high heels and a dress, come back in and then go out again in jeans and hiking boots and so on. But I think, you know, it's whatever you feel appropriate. That's what's so nice about it. Maya Angelou has a quote that I love, and I think it really is appropriate for networking. And it's that, you know, people don't necessarily remember what you said, but they always remember how you made them feel. And I think that is networking. And, you know, when you become a networker, and like you say, you network generously, you become a go-to person within your friends and family as well. You know, they always say, oh, sorry, you must know someone. I'm looking for whatever. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling to have that, you know, when people do turn to you for those connections as well. So, yes, I think we've covered the fact that we love networking. We encourage networking, and they should go out and do it.
They should do it all the time. They should do it. They should find the right one, and they should do it and love it and have fun. Yes.
Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a plug here at the end as well, because if anyone is in the UK, because obviously the Wire is very much UK based, but you have an annual conference coming up on May the 11th. Would you just like to mention that?
Yep. It's our 17th national conference. We expect 17th. I know. We expect about 120 delegates, all women in business. It's like a networking explosion. It's very loud. There is of networking going on. We've got ours and speakers. We've got I don't know if anyone remembers the amazing Julie Dodsworth who spoke a couple of years ago. She does beautiful painted porcelains, things like that, and she's going to be talking about how you can sell yourself with authenticity without, you know, without becoming a terrible person. We've got, which is a bit of a coup, we've got the retail director from Grays Boxes, who I know she's makes her sound very corporate. She's not very corporate. She runs small businesses within big businesses. So the retail department is not the delivery. It's an entirely new business. And she's passionate about small businesses and supply chains and unusual ways to create a sort of marketing magnificence, if you like. So she's going to be speaking. Got what we're calling a pop-up session, which is 5 wire experts who will just give you 15 minutes of top tips, much like this. So it won't be a long seminar. It'll just be right. Do this, which is fab. There's one on creating attention-grabbing headlines. There's one on using Pinterest without getting lost in Pinterest. You know, so using it as a business tool, that sort of thing. And absolutely loads. So yeah, 11th of May in Shropshire. And it's on the website, it's on the homepage, and you put the website up, didn't you?
I put the website up here as well, but I'll also put it in the links below as well, so that people can contact you. So that's fantastic. I'm just about to sneeze. See, it's live. I can't edit it out.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me, Fiona. That's from a little idea, you know, a matter of days ago about let's do something for International Women's Day. I thoroughly enjoyed our chat. Thank you so much. And I will see you at the conference. I will be there. And yes, if anybody would like to know more about the conference or Wire as a network, and of course, Hiking Boots and Posh Pants. And if you do want the guide that I mentioned earlier, I will pop the link below as well, so that you can get that, and then you can get out there and start mingling and networking. So thank you very much.
Fun. Thank you.
Bye, Fiona. See you soon.
Bye. 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 Bye all.